Hey everybody, it's Jordan and Kyle here from monday.com. We're here today to talk to you about using monday.com as a CRM. We're going to break what we call the CRM silo. So we're going to get into a little bit about why standard CRM solutions don't necessarily work the way that we should and how we go about approaching a solution to that. So let's quickly run through the agenda and introductions before we get into it. So first off, we're going to define a little bit more about what is a CRM. Then we'll have a quick break with some amazing acting and a role play from Kyle and I. We're going to go through a common scenario that a lot of folks are running into. And then we'll have some time for conclusions. So quick introductions, as I said. My name is Jordan Duvall. I've been at monday.com for about 2 years as a customer success manager. Lots of acronyms flying at you with CRM and CSM. Currently serving as a senior CSM. And in this role, definitely a process management enthusiast. I love trying to find solutions to new problems and helping businesses translate their workflows into processes in the platform. I also love a good tabletop game. So there's a picture of me playing pinball with my kiddos, ping pong, table hockey, you name it. I'm all about it.
Hey everyone, my name is Kyle Hamblett and I've worked at Monday for 2 years now. I'm currently a senior success manager on our mid-market team. And some fun facts about me is I'm a former Division III college basketball player and I was raised abroad for 18 years. Great. So we're going to jump right into it then and get started by having a look at what is a CRM. So let's get started by understanding what the acronym is. So it means Customer Relationship Management, and it's a tool that companies use to manage and analyze their customers. It helps them answer who are our customers, what does our new business pipeline look like, and how are we performing? So how do teams interact with this tool? CRMs are the hub of customer information and they typically live within the sales department. But almost every department in the company has a stake in accessing and analyzing this data that lives in the CRM. So some examples may be the marketing team looking for status updates, deal size, or even customer location. But they usually can't easily find or access this information and have to go through a request process. This is the perfect example of a broken data flow. So given Monday's approach as a work operating system, let's have a closer look at some of the advantages of using Monday as your CRM.
Yeah, let's jump right into it. So breaking that CRM silo with monday.com, that's kind of what the crux of our presentation is. And you'll notice in the above illustration, the departmental silos are broken. Data that lives in the CRM is easily accessible to everyone. So what does it take to break these silos? How do we do that from a product standpoint? There's really 3 big takeaways from today's presentation that we want you to remember. And that's how we go about breaking these silos. The first is going to be the functionality of monday.com. CRMs in general can be very intimidating to set up. Really in as few as 30 minutes, you or someone on your team can really have a good understanding of how to use monday.com and set up your basic workflows and start to get that CRM process in place. The second thing we want you to remember is the flexibility of monday.com. We approach a lot nuance of your customer journey as opposed to having to fit your customer journey to the platform that you're using. So functionality, flexibility, and the third one is going to be efficiency. We like to save. We understand as you're choosing a tool to use as part of your software stack, you want that ROI, that return on investment, and we help with that by saving you time, which therefore saves you money. We allow you to use automations in the platform, which we'll get into. These are actions that you have to take on a regular basis, and we make those automatic so they are no longer manual, saving you time. We also integrate with your existing tools that you use. So no additional work as you bring on new business. We can talk all day about the benefits of using monday.com as a CRM. Kyle and I have gotten pretty good at that in our roles as a CSM. But we thought it might be more helpful to see a real world scenario. So we're going to dust off our acting caps here and give you a little bit of a recreation of some conversations that maybe you've had or that we know go on all the time from all the businesses that we talk to. So let's jump into that now.
Great. So for the purposes of today's session, Jordan is going to be the new VP of Sales who just started a week ago. And I'm a sales manager who's been working at JK Marketing for a little over 3 years. We're a mid-sized company with our headquarters in New York, roughly 1,000 employees. And we've been using Monday as a CRM for a little over 3 months.
Shall we do it?
Let's do it.
All right. And action. Hey, Kyle, great to meet you. I'm so excited to be joining the team. I really appreciate you taking some time and putting together a little demonstration here to show me how we're using monday.com as a CRM today. As a new part of the team, I really just want to get myself familiar with your processes. So really looking forward to today's chat.
Yeah, same here. Welcome to the team and definitely looking forward to walking you through the process.
Amazing. So let's just start from the beginning. How does JK Marketing use monday.com as a CRM today?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think it's important to understand that we don't just use Monday as a CRM. It's actually a solution that's used across all of JK Marketing as that work operating system. And as a result, we've actually been able to consolidate 7 different tools that our various teams used all into one. So specifically on the sales side, we use the platform as a wall-to-wall solution for our entire sales process. So that means everything from the get-go of capturing leads all the way through renewal lives within monday.com. The neat thing is that we're also able to link any ad hoc requests or projects associated with that client right back to that customer. And it's also a really great place for us to collaborate with our customer success, creative, and marketing departments.
That sounds really impressive. I'm excited to see all about it. But before we get into the collaboration component, let's start with how do we capture leads? How does that process happen today?
Great. Let's jump into it. So one of the biggest inefficiencies that we had previously was the lead intake process. So now using monday.com, we're able to house everything under one roof and have reduced the first phase of our sales cycle by a full day, which is wild. So with this new process, all leads are going to fill out our Monday form that lives on our website. It's just embedded seamlessly into our Contact Us page. And on this form, we're able to capture all of the essential information that we need, such as the organization name, contact details, and any services they may be interested in.
That's incredible that you've shaved off a full day from the lead intake process. Love to hear the efficiency gained there. What happens after that? So a lead submits the form. What happens from there? Can you walk me through an example?
Absolutely. So we're going to have a look at Safari Ventures, which is the third item here on this board. And let's think about how they arrived here and then where it goes. So all new leads are going to fill out the form that I mentioned before on our website. And when they click submit, the lead will arrive in this new leads group on our pipeline management board. What's amazing here is that every new lead that's submitted, I get an automatic push notification to my phone that a new lead has been submitted. So that really helps streamline that intake process. So from there, I begin to assess the lead based on the different data that they provided to us. So the first thing I look at is location. The next would be services needed. And finally, the company size. From there, I proceed with assigning the relevant sales rep who's going to handle the account moving forward. So from there, once the rep is assigned, it automatically moves to our active leads group. And the neat thing, I mentioned automatically, this is all done through Monday's automations here, so we don't need to lift a finger.
That's amazing. So you've talked about the efficiency gains, and obviously I've kind of talked to you about this, how important that is to us in our process. For me, looking at the department as a whole, what are some of the efficiency gains that you've seen by using these automations and integrations?
So I mentioned earlier that we're saving a full day in our process, and much of this time savings actually comes from our automation and integration use. So let's actually run through two examples so this will hit home a little bit. So the first one regarding automations, I like to say they magically push our deals through the pipeline because at the flip of a status, we're automatically able to manage our pipeline. We're also able to set up due date reminders to make sure we're not missing any important milestones. And really, there's so many recipes on the automation front that we haven't even scratched the surface. It's going to be exciting to see what's in the pipeline here. So the second is regarding the email integration, and this is really, really strong for us because it allows us to manage our customers from the monday.com board without even going to our inboxes, and this saves a ton of time for us.
That's incredible. So this is all making sense so far. Now that the lead is active in this example, how does our team manage their deal pipeline from there?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we're going to run through a couple columns here, but I think it's important to understand that we have an entire board that houses that customer record. So whatever you're looking for regarding that lead, potential customer here, you can come to this board and access it. But there are a couple important columns that I do want to highlight to you. So the first one is tracking our deal stages via this status column. And I think it's great because it's super colorful, easy to digest. So from there, we then begin prioritizing our pipeline based on the deal size column, just to the right. And finally, we're able to track our next action and ensure that we're staying on top of our active leads. This really ensures that nothing slips through the cracks as we're working the leads here. So given the board setup, we're actually able to get insights into the pipeline and forecast using our dashboard. We're going to get to that in a little bit, which is, I'm super excited to show you. But the amazing thing about this board is that as long as we keep our statuses updated, the rest is automated.
Yeah, I love the simplicity of the process here. You're right about the color coding really makes it intuitive and easy to understand what's going on at a glance. And it keeps the focus pretty narrow for the sales reps. They can make sure they're just staying on top of a few columns and understand quickly where they need to take their next steps. That's great. So from there, obviously our sales team is going to be closing deals left and right. We understand how we capture the leads, what happens after we capture. Take me to the next phase. We win a deal. What happens from there?
Right. So we want to win a ton of deals here. That's when a deal is won, the customer actually moves from our pipeline board to our customer management board. So it is a separate board. And really the main reason for this is that it's a separate part of our process. And again, this is all happening automatically in the background when we flip the status to 1.
So walk me through how we use this board. I'm kind of seeing we now have 2 boards with different purposes. Customer management board. What does that post-sales process look like here?
Absolutely. So first off, it is one of the most powerful boards that we use on a daily basis because we're able to manage the customer experience component of our relationships, collaborate with other departments internally, and track our renewals all in one place. So we'll walk through a couple columns here to show you how we use the board. So first, we assign a dedicated point of contact to each account using the Success Manager column. It's similar to how we assign a sales rep. Next, we're able to send automated messages to customers based on where they're at in the customer lifecycle. For example, every new customer of ours receives a welcome email, and they'll receive that email by changing this status to welcome. And that's all done all done using our email campaigns column right here. And we're also able to track our upcoming renewals, so we can be proactive about securing our renewals beforehand. So I really can't tell you how much hair pulling this simplified process has saved me, especially compared to how we used to manage this. And as you can see, I don't have much hair, so this should explain how much frustration there was.
I think your hair is beautiful, Kyle. So I don't know what you're talking about, but I can see how that process is very straightforward, and it makes a lot of sense. There's not a lot of friction there. So we're using one board as an intake to manage new leads, as well as work them through the sales funnel, while the other board allows us to manage all our existing customers, as well as key information and insights about those customers. This is great. This is taking us most of the way through the customer journey. One thing I did want to dig into next, you mentioned earlier that we're able to have cross-departmental collaboration. Maybe give me an example of how that works with this setup.
Sure. So I think the perfect example is looking at the marketing team, who frequently sends us requests, seems like almost on a weekly basis, asking for customer data. So that was kind of pre-Monday. Now, once Monday arrived, we started having a look at these requests, and the most frequent request we would receive is looking at the regions where our customers are located and the amount generated from each of these regions. Basically, this helps with their targeting and also helps them plan their campaigns. So we created a view for the marketing team on our customer management board that will allow them to interact with the data whenever they would like. It also prevents any use for a request process here, so really helps save a ton of time. And the marketing team can just come to this board, flip to this view, and they'll have all the information that they need real time. So not only does it save a ton of time, but it allows us to work more closely with the marketing team. And it's a perfect example of breaking that silo.
This seems very efficient. I love the efficiency. I like these graphs. As you know, at the executive level, of course, we've got a strong need to see everything at the 10,000 foot view. The folks that I'm going to be reporting to are really going to need that. So that's a nice transition to talk about reporting options here. Given this structure that you've created, how can you help me digest this information easily?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we bring together all the information using Monday's dashboards. It allows us to report across several different boards and then visualize that data according to how we want to see it. So we've customized our widgets to provide all the information that we need at a glance.
And that's awesome. How much detail can we get into on these dashboards?
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing, is we're able to uncover as much detail as we would like. From our perspective, we started by understanding what story do we want to tell and what questions do we need to quickly have the answers to at the click of a mouse. So for our team, it was really important to know how our individual reps are performing. So we use this chart. So at a glance, we can recognize who our star performers are and maybe who needs a little bit of coaching. We also are able to have a clear breakdown of our pipeline value over various time periods. So whether it's looking into or drilling down on a month-by-month basis, or even looking at the pipeline for the remaining couple months of the year. So it really allows us to plan our quarters more strategically.
Yeah, I love that. It's great to hear. These are things I would be asking for: individual rep performance metrics, also forecasting budget, into the future. I'm also curious, this colorful battery looks interesting. Would you mind explaining how we use that?
Definitely. So our sales team really likes to understand how they're performing as a team. So here we have a nice breakdown of our lead statuses with this battery widget. It allows us to clearly see how leads are advancing through the pipeline without having to go to the boards. Again, big time saver.
This is terrific, Kyle. I can definitely see myself using this, the dashboard, the customer management, the pipeline management to get that nice holistic view. This has been really helpful, and I'm excited to see how we keep growing with this. So thanks for the time.
Yeah, not a problem, and excited to work with you moving forward. And cut.
Wow, that was exhilarating. You probably don't even recognize us now that we're out of character, but again, I'm Jordan. This is Kyle. Hopefully that was a little bit helpful, illuminating some of the ways that businesses of all sizes, are looking to solve the problems, the reason that there's a need to use a CRM, and how monday.com is uniquely positioned to solve that problem effectively. So to quickly recap the 3 big takeaways for today: the functionality, monday.com is simple, intuitive to set up, very easy to get started. The flexibility, it fits to your processes as opposed to your processes fitting to the tool. And number 3, efficiency. We save you time, which also saves you money by automating simple actions and integrating with your existing tools like email and many, many others. So that wraps up our demonstration portion for today. We appreciate your time and your attention.